Hi, Jack Newton here. I just want to say what a wonderful effort it is on behalf of Darren and all the organisers who put this together. It's a wonderful gesture. Obviously there's a lot of love in the room. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I'm sorry I can't be there. I would have been, but I had something already committed and couldn't get out of it. Recently at the Jack Newton Celebrity Classic 37th version, I might add, which only suggests how old I'm getting, but from where I stood, having met the parents, the brothers and Thalia herself, I can certainly relate to the impost that it's placed on everyone within the family. One of the great things I found meeting Thalia, she was pretty game and pretty up for the fight that's in front of her. And I'm a big fan of encouragement, love, all those sort of things from the family and friends and relatives rather than sympathy. I think from what I saw of the family, she's got all those connections. She's got two brothers that I'm sure will pretty much mind her throughout the rest of her life, and she seems like quite a determined young lady, which is what you have to be when you suffer such a tragic incident as what she's been through. I did meet Jessica, the sister, and while it has obviously been a tough time for Jessica, I think in the future she will help Thalia untold with things going into the future. All sorts of girly things that need to take place, and some of the trauma that Jessica has gone through, no doubt, will gradually fade because of the positivity that Thalia is showing. And it's all about the future, it's not about what happened back there. So I'm sure that quite apart from the protection of the brothers, Jessica will more than capably play the role of being big sister and, you know, going through all the things that young girls go through. Most of these tragic accidents, certainly the issue in my case, mostly they could have been avoided. And then the one thing that goes through your mind initially is, why did this happen to me? I know when I was in hospital initially, when I came out of my drug-induced stupor, that it was certainly something that was going through my mind. And little issues like, what are my mates going to think? Can I go to the pub anymore? Or those sort of ridiculous scenarios that go through your mind. From there, I had to learn to write and all those sorts of things, which seemed like a mountain I had to climb, but in the end, I spent the time practicing those sort of things, and I had a lot of strength in this arm because of hitting millions of golf balls, and the left arm is the one that controls the golf club and the right one was the power. So I had those initiatives going for me in the first place. And of course Thalia, losing her right arm the same as me, she will have to learn to make this left arm the keynote factor in the quality of her life into the future. And it sounds pretty daunting at first, and she probably has felt that, although I understand her brother is a lefty, so he can probably give her a few tricks of the trade. But yeah, certainly at 33, it was a pretty daunting task for me to think, God, I've got to learn to write, I've got to learn to do all these things without something I'm not used to. But it's really not that big a deal. When you first realise that, hey, I've lost my my main arm, if you like, and now it all depends on the left one. I can tell you, when I was in hospital, and I had what I called the black snake down my throat, so I couldn't talk, and I was trying to write messages to my wife, and it was so frustrating because I just never tried to write left-handed, and so I can tell you quite frankly that I had a few pens whistling around the ward of a hospital while I was trying to write with my left hand. Funnily enough, the hardest thing I found was to wipe my backside with my left hand, and a lot of people will find that unbelievable, but you try it. If your custom is wiping your bum with your right hand, you try wiping it with your left hand and see how you get on. You find a way in the end with a bit of Dutch courage, if you like, and a bit of perseverance, but certainly there is anxiety, and there's nothing wrong with having some anxiety about I can't do this at the moment, but perseverance is probably, I'd say, the key word. The prosthesis issue is obviously a fairly contentious issue, and I copped a lot of flack from seemingly every physiotherapist in the bloody country when I refused to have one because my stump is too short. And to wear a prosthesis would involve straps around my back and everything, which probably I wouldn't be able to do. So if I was on the road, for example, how am I going to deal with it? The answer is not very well. And as I said initially, the surgeon who did my arm and what have you, he said, look, Jack, the quality of your life is going to be about how good you use your left hand. And that always stuck in my mind that that's what I had to do. I had to become totally independent of almost anything with my left hand. Having been through the experience of seeing people with prostheses that just hang there and basically get in the road, that was the reason I didn't take a prosthesis. The only positive about it, I suppose, is that I have continual trouble with my neck and my back because I've got no weight there. But that'll be a different story for Thalia. In the future, Thalia will be able to take a prosthesis off if she doesn't feel like wearing it at home. Wants to go for a swim without it, fair enough. I know I've got a prosthetic eye, and a lot of times when I'm just home here with the family, I'll take it out. You're supposed to wear it day and night. I find that mine gets a bit clogged up, so I put it in a solution each night, and it depends what I've got on the next day, whether I wear it or I don't wear it. It's really your decision. And that will be the case for Thalia. Well, I'm just going to have a swim today and I'm not going to worry about the prosthesis. Or, yes, we're going out for dinner with Mum and Dad. I'll put it on because I want to look the part. And that's really going to be her call. I'm sure Thalia has some great talents, I understand, at colouring. I'm sure she'll be able to get to where she will be able to colour just as good with the left hand as the right hand in the end. I know probably at times at school she'll get some narky comments for some, kids being kids. They will say just about anything. I think she's strong enough and she's got all the rest of her life to jump those hoops and cross the bridges. Yeah, to Darren and family, to Thalia and her family, I think the best thing I could ever say would be that while people are hurting at the moment, not least of which is Thalia, physically, and probably those around her mentally, I know from my experience those bad thoughts disappear. So I strongly recommend that you don't look back, you look forward. And I think that the encouragement and love and affection that all of you can push towards Thalia. I'll give you an example. I was 66 the other day and I had my accident when I was 33. So I've had 2 arms for 33 years and 1 arm for 33 years, if that makes any sense. But I really don't ever think about it. People bring it up, of course, about when did I have the accident, they couldn't remember and stuff like that. And it's not an issue. But I'm a pretty positive sort of person, and I think a lot of that came from playing golf, where you're it, you have to make it happen. And it's a tough game at professional level. And I just absolutely urge everyone that it won't happen straight away, but think forward and don't look back. To Darren, the organisers, and all those of you who are there tonight, I would like to think that you will bid on stuff with Thalia in the back of your mind and what she's got to go through and what it's going to cost. So I would like to offer up an invitation for 2 people to come to the 2016 Jack Newton Celebrity Classic. We will put you up for 2 nights and you can come to the functions and enjoy the hospitality at Hunter Valley Crown Plaza as a guest of mine. So be generous and remember why you're all there, and that is to support the future of Thalia. Here's to everybody, have a great night. This is Jack Newton wishing you all the very best.